then, it's week 6 of the Gfinity Elite Series Season 2, and it is all about Rocket League. Well, Senzus needed to score a lot of goals. He had his glasses, but he was still unable to see just how good Endpoint were going to be. Lots of goals from Cheerio, and the game finished 3-1 in the end. Doesn't quite tell the whole story, but Endpoint were just too strong today. Right, that means our result 1 of matchup 1 today is in. If you're just joining us, XL 1 and Endpoint have got 3. Our next match is going to be Epsilon versus Team Infused, and we'll have Method versus Envy, and then Reason versus Prophecy. Right then, right, backstage right now, Ariel is, I believe, where are you? Who are you with right now?
I'm in the green room and I'm with a new member of the Method lineup, Mr. Epic Toasty. How you doing?
Smashing.
Smashing. First time for you in the Gfinity arena, so give it to me. What was it like walking into the arena today? Are you nervous? Are you like, wow? Or are you just like, all right?
I'm not nervous, but it's pretty cool to see like all the fans and stuff like that.
Yeah. We've not seen you before. You were a sub last year for Prophecy, didn't get a game. You're now being put in. You're now actually going to play for a Method. Where's that come from? Is it the guys that are not here, or you have always been a sub for them, and this is the first time I've seen you?
So the guys are at RLCS right now, but yeah. I guess they just chose me because I'm an absolute legend.
Because you're an absolute. I hear actually you're very good friends with our very own Johnny Boy. Got any stories that you can tell me about Johnny?
I can't tell on stream and TV and stuff.
We'll just have to let our minds wander. Now we've got Infused Epsilon up next as the matchup. Who do you think is going to take this game?
Well, I want Epsilon to win because Flarky's a legend. Yeah, I love Flarky and Data.
So you're going to go for Epsilon just because Flarky's a legend?
I love them, yeah. So.
I love it. To be fair, Infused haven't had the greatest season so far. We've lost Doomsday. They didn't manage to win last week, so it will be a bit of a struggle for them to win this week, won't it?
It's a shame that we lost Doomsday because Doomsday's like the person that you always look up to in the scene because he's a legend. I've used that a lot, but he genuinely is like the guy that everyone loves.
He is. When he obviously lost some teammates to Prophecy who are playing at the end of the day today. Now, we've got a poll on our Twitter, which is Prophecy up against Reason. You can go onto our Twitter, it's at Gfinity. Use the hashtag Elite Series. Who do you think is going to win, Prophecy or Reason? Gonna ask you, Epitoasty, who do you think's got that last game? Prophecy or Reason? Reason undefeated. Prophecy lost last week to Endpoint and just won.
I want Prophecy to win, but I think Reason will get it.
There you go. Epsilon and Reason for this dude here. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you very much, Ariel, and to Epic Toasty. He got a bit of a grilling there, didn't he, from Ariel?
At least it wasn't too. At least he wouldn't get too cheesy, right?
No.
Oh! No, seriously.
That one's free.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You want to?
Oh, no.
Any filling?
No, I will not. Stop.
No? Okay, right, fair enough.
Don't want to go back on that one? No?
Right. We need to discuss Epsilon. Both of these teams, no wins. Let's talk about them on set. What do you make of this Epsilon lineup?
I mean, they've been unlucky so far, I think, in the Elite Series. They've put in some really big performances, but they've just come up short when it matters in a lot of games. We've talked about the bromance between Flarky and Data, and Flores has obviously come into this squad, and he's performed pretty solidly so far as well, but as I say, it's just been an unfortunate season. It's been a case of exactly. It's been a case of so many close games, but then you look at their form, and they're in a W to be seen. So I mean,
yeah.
What else can you say? It's just they've had an unfortunate season.
It just felt like even with the picture, Data was sandwiched in the middle there.
Yeah.
Because of the toast. No, we'll stop. I promise I'll stop.
Probably
Let's move on
just one too many, that one.
Okay. But moving on to that Infused lineup, no Doomsday. That's what Epic Toast said. A bit of a loss in terms of the status that Doomsday has in the Rocket League world. But what do you make of that lineup? Al Dente comes in. He's a hard character.
He's got big shoes to fill in terms of the personality department, but you know, without Doomsday played this season, it's going to be much easier to fill his shoes on the field. You know, no disrespect to the guy, I'm sure he'd agree. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them play. I think this is a team with a lot of promise, and they've got no pressure. It's one of the benefits of already being out is you can just relax. You know, you can't make playoffs. Let's just go out there and have some fun.
Indeed. Well, listen, gentlemen, I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to welcome out the players right now. For Epsilon, we have Flarky, Data, and Flores, and for Infused, we have Dan Hizzle, Radio, and Al Dente. Yes, Yes, indeed, it is Epsilon taking on Infused, and what I can guarantee you is one of these teams will be getting their first win. And as Al Dente needs some boiling water, it is going to get up to boiling point in just a second. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have all the action. Look at their faces, up close, really up close. Flarky, give me something. Data, what have you got? That's it. What about this one? Come on, Radio, the dancers, oh, come on. What a lovely vocal audience we have in the arena tonight. Welcome back for what is going to be an epic match. Infused taking on Epsilon. Someone's got to get that win. I'm going to come this way and have a little look. Now, Johnny boy, you are going for Infused. The Dutch, the Danish, the Swede. Tell me more.
I just think these guys are a bit more chilled than the guys across the stage. And, you know, I love those boys in the Epsilon lineup, but these guys, they're just relaxing. I saw them backstage. Dan was making some crazy plays, so I think this is their game.
Okay, and if Al Dente wins, do you reckon his tagline is Pasta la vista, baby?
Yes, why not?
All right, fair enough, I tried. Come this way, and let's go and find our other main man on set. You are going for Epsilon. Tell me why.
Of course I am. I love these guys. They've been so unlucky so far in the Elite Series. Data doesn't fill me with confidence, got to be honest. He goes, you do realise we're about to lose, so questionable.
Okay, interesting.
But we've been having a good time up here, and I always back these boys. I think that, as I say, they've been unlucky this season. I can see them pulling out this win.
Okay, come on, Epsilon. That's it. Okay, fair enough. I'm going to throw down to the two casters down there. Changing places. Stumpy, Cole, how do you see this one going, gentlemen, before I pass it over to you?
I think that Infused are going to win this game, Stumpy. I think that Infused are going to win. What do you think?
I don't know. I think Infused got a good shout in terms that they're going to be way more relaxed. But no, I'm all about Epsilon. All about Epsilon. Has to be.
Brilliant. Okay, well, game 2 is about to get started, so let's get some hype from the crowd as we see how Epsilon and Infused have done so far. Yeah, the tail of the tape said it there. It's showing the people in Season 3 that this is what they'll be able to do next season. Neither of these guys are going to make it to the semi-finals, but that won't matter because this game is all about pride between Epsilon and Team Infused. And Stumpy, I think it's going to be a decent game, despite the fact that both teams are out already.
The confidence builder game that this should hopefully aim to be. Each team will do their best to remind themselves they are good enough to win this competition, despite the fact they've not got into the semi-finals. They're good enough to have attended. Yeah,
absolutely. And Infused getting their first point on the board last week, losing 3-2. It's a big statement for them, you know, that they're here to compete. They're not here to get zeros across the board. And we'll see how they take that through with their new look lineup this week. And it's been a relatively open start so far. Just Radio have a little bit of space, but Florus will use those 1v1 skills to clear the ball away, and nothing will come from it. Yeah, an open start so far.
Dan Hizzle cross towards Radio, but Data infiltrating that pass as early as he could. Al Dente missing in the box. Radio trying to send it the other way, seeing if they can get the pressure on. We saw earlier in the earlier games that a lot of the teams are just looking to see what the pressure feels like and see how the other team is going to be playing today. And it worked out. I mean, we saw a scrappy start from before. Doesn't seem to be too scrappy just yet. We've not seen too many errors.
No, there's been no errors at all. It's all been a lot of midfield play, both of these teams trying to make the first chance happen. It's going to come to Radio, who with the help of the crossbar, not sure how intentional it was, takes the lead for Team Infused. It was great play from Dan Zizzle, though, to set him up.
I mean, I think he was going for a shot. He went for the shot, he hit the crossbar. Radio fancied the crossbar as well as the goal, so he's been greedy. But yeah, no, very nicely done there. Taking that to 1-0. 3 minutes and 35 seconds left. Let's see if they can keep up that lead across the game, across two very even teams.
Last week against Envy, Team Infused started very slow. They went 2 games behind before they even started to play. As soon as they did go 2 games behind, the next 2 games that they won, they played really well, and they suddenly seemed to start finding each other, to start looking for each other. Now, in the first couple of minutes of this game, it looks like they're doing the same thing, and Epsilon are going to try and find out how to deal with that, and this could be an opportunity as in comes the Epsilon man, Florus, and it's 1 goal all.
You see there's a defensive error here. Al Dente, I think, goes for the wall pinch, but it just does not work. Means that he tumbles out the way, leaves an open net, and Florus, he's going to capitalise on that, taking that to 1-all. And hopefully that's going to give Epsilon a bit of a boost, see that they can put on a bit more pressure. And Al Dente's not going to want those defensive errors to keep cropping up and send this team down even further.
No, absolutely not, because Al Dente does not have a lot of LAN experience. I believe this is his first Gfinity Elite Series appearance, certainly this season. So those sorts of errors, while you wouldn't make them online in a million years, in this environment they can be so much more likely to happen.
So damning.
Yeah, they can. So it's up to his teammates now to talk him through this, because they've got a little bit more experience and ensure it doesn't happen again. And now with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, Infused trying to play the ball in the Epsilon half. Nice passing play from those guys, putting Epsilon under pressure, but Al Dente misses the ball, and now Dante has to chase it and do some good defensive work to put it into their corner.
Those errors, they're really, really going to catch the other Infused members off guard. Oh, that's so close there. Radio just hitting the post. Dente's going to try and knock it down for Dan, but he needs some boost for us. Going to go for a centre. Radio is going to capitalise on that. Gets the demo on Flarky rather.
And
Another demo on Dan. This is becoming a very physical game.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's always fun to watch explosions flying left, right, and centre. Now Flores goes for the ceiling hit. He times it pretty well. He's going to go onto the backboard. And eventually in comes Flarky. I was about to say, where is the Epsilon man? The ball seemed to hang in the air for about 14 years, allowing Flarky to half rotate. And Radio on the goal line, and Al Dente couldn't save it. 2-1 Epsilon.
Flores really wanted boost there, did you see? He was pointing his car towards the ball as if he could will some boost into his boost meter, try and get that double touch, go for a Twitch clip goal. But no, fortunately he's just missed out. But team scored. It's 2-1.
Yep.
That first goal might have given them energy, or they might have just simply woken up. I disagree with myself because that was one hell of an error.
Stumpy, I didn't know you were playing.
Right, cheers, pal. That's so. Not more I can say there apart from give it a hit. Give that a hit, and that's not going to be a goal. That.
Let's move on. Pretend that never happened. 2-2 now. 1 minute and 38 seconds left as Data and Radio go for this kickoff. And it's Data that wins out. It's a very dead kickoff there. And Flores from Data's 50-50 follows that up. That was a much better finish from him.
What a set this was from Data, flicking it up, potentially hearing that Flores is behind him either from the boost or from the call. And yeah, gets such a good goal over the top of Dan Zizzle.
We've said before that Flores is the previous 1v1 player. We've not seen him adapt to the threes game very much. His speed at jumping up there, I believe it was a pre-jump, his ability to listen to the call that he was given must be improving based on that evidence. Really, really nice goal. And this could be more damaging for Infused. Flarky!
No, the
fakes
goal
away into the
steal.
goal.
I think it was a goal steal by Data, wasn't it?
No, Data put it in and Flarky.
Oh, Data's hit?
Yeah.
I thought it was the other way around, sorry.
You should have done it.
Should have dunked, mate. That's a classic error, that.
Yeah, that is.
We would have done.
We would have done.
We would have dunked.
Yeah.
Would have hit the crossbar, and it would have still been 3-2.
Irrelevant. 1 minute and 18 seconds left, and Epsilon now have a 2-goal lead, and this is going to be a test for Infused's mental state. We'll see what they can do as Radio looks for Al Dente, who is going to be half rotating. Ends up leaving it for Radio, actually. To try and push this into the corner. But Data is the first man there. And now Al Dente with low boost was trapped in no man's land, but actually shows some lovely mechanics to get that away from the goal line. Just for a second, it looked like he put himself into danger there. That's far better from Radio, defending off the backboard. But Infused still with a bit of pressure against them. They're going to want to get this ball away before long. There's only 45 seconds left, so they're going to have to try and push on pretty quickly to get a goal.
Flarky there with a pass across from Data. Al Dente tips it over the bar. It's going to be a shot opportunity. Data opts for the pass off. Another miss, another miss! Flores can happily put that in.
Yeah, eventually the ball goes over the line. It was a miss from Dan Zizzle on the backboard, and Al Dente wasn't expecting it. Backflips majestically on the goal line, and Flores, with the help of 15 seconds of goal line action, puts the ball in the goal, and it's now 5-2 to Epsilon. Game over, Stumpy?
Game over. Yeah, I'd be amazed if we can see a 3-goal comeback in 20 seconds. I don't think it's happened before yet. I don't know what the biggest comeback is that we've had in the Elite Series.
No, but it's not all doom and depression for Team Infused. They've played well at points of this game. They've got themselves a couple of goals. They'll see that there's Epsilon errors that they can take advantage of. They just have to keep plugging along over the next couple of games and try and turn decent pressure into goals for their team. But this first game is going to be 1-0 to Team Epsilon.
We're going to need to see Team Infused have some mental fortitude here to hopefully not let that loss get to them. I mean, the best result they've had so far is 2-3 rather, versus Team Envy, and that was last week. If they can eke out another 2-3 here, they're not going to be happy, but it's better than losing 3-0 or a 3-1. We're going to see a couple of the defensive errors here that have come in to allow some of those goals. We saw, like I said, the scrappy start in in the Series 1. And there was a couple more scrappy plays in this as well, Cole.
There was, but there were also some nice goals. You saw Dan Zizzle's touch across the goal for the first one, and then some nice finishes coming in throughout. I mean, like I say, there were errors. There were errors. You can't focus on those too much because also there was lovely play there. Data picking it up, and Flores was up so early, and that's one of the things I want to mention in a second. Flores' ability as a threes player, which really seems to be coming along based on this evidence. And remember as well, Stumpy, Team Infused are beating Epsilon in the leaderboard. Team Infused with their solitary point is more than Epsilon have managed to get. So, Stumpy, Crowd absolutely loving it there. Really, really nice game, I thought. That was a really, really good game. I want to see how this game develops over the next 2 or 3 matches.
Yeah, like I said, Team Infused are just going to need to make sure they don't let the first loss get to them. If they can make sure that they keep positive and they keep up the team plays that we've seen, like you said, the Dan Tizzle play, if they can keep that up, I think they have got a good chance at taking this series.
Game 2 begins with Radio beating Flarky to a kick-up, but Flarky comes out with it in the end. And now, after some early pressure for Epsilon, Al Dente, that's good composure. We've seen a couple of moments from him in defense where other players may have rushed the ball, but he's just taken a touch, he's seen that he's had space, seen that he's had time, and taken the ball away, and that's almost an amazing doink from Data coming in for Flarky's aerial. So close. I think that was a doink to the crossbar. Great effort from Epsilon. That's really high quality Rocket League.
Data attempting a double touch, but there's double commit on the backboard from Radio. It's worked, but you gotta rule them out. You can't be going for double commits that often. Flarky with a double touch into the center. Radio to bring it up. Flores just about misses the shot. Feels very low on boost. Data can't get the shot off. Data with another challenge. Flores getting it back in, centers it.
Infused did so well there, despite none of them having any boost. They were all pegged behind that goal line. They somehow got the ball away by forcing a pinch, and that's the way they defended that. But it's so tough when you have no boost. Such a hard skill to manage. And actually, Infused have done very well to not be a goal behind just yet. But that could be changing right now if Flarky put this in. No, he can't. Al Dente, who was covering the backboard, gets it away. And finally, Radio gets the big clear that Team Infused were craving. Okay, I think in a second we are going to hear Team Epsilon's comms, so let's have a listen of what they're saying to each other at this pressure point in the game.
Behind you guys.
Yeah. Oi.
Tjena.
What is that? He's dead.
Rose, back to me.
Sorry.
Jag kör. Rose touch.
Yep.
Jag vill inte stå in.
Nah, it should be fine. I got it.
I'm dead. I'm getting bumped. I'm not bumped.
It's fine. We're dude.
You just muted the audio in this whole die.
No, they started listening on some comms. I don't know what team, but I heard them say that they were gonna listen to something. So don't swear, boys. It might be us. PG-13 right now.
What? 13 is it?
PG-8.
7.
Maybe mid. PG-7. Okay.
Out in the back. You go.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
I got fate. Oh,
Nice,
good save though, good save.
You've got it?
I don't have this.
Al Dente has.
Okay, I got this though.
Yeah, forward.
Nice, good beat.
Good beat.
I'm going for their boost.
I'm shooting in the back. I need to get a boost.
Yeah.
No.
You can beat him to that one, right?
You go.
Yeah.
I was on the other side. I'll go.
Ooh.
I can't. It's the bounce horribly for me.
Yeah. That one you can get. Nice.
I'm gonna follow again.
Infused, they're just there with the best chance of the match so far. Danziger putting the ball onto the crossbar. Every player's nightmare hitting that crossbar and the ball bouncing back into open play. But now Infused keep the pressure on. A slightly awkward touch from Flarky is almost closed up. But now the chance comes in for Epsilon after he turns the awkward touch into good work. But it's not quite an Epsilon goal. This game, Stumpy, could go either way. It's very close.
There's been so much pressure by Epsilon here. Infused they've been keeping the speed up as much as they can, and it's worked so far. And with long shots like that, Al Dente cannot put it in. But down from the side. So well done. Very good composure there as Al Dente takes the long shot and tries to put it in. Flores with the block, but just gently pass it down towards Dan. Another Epsilon player can't get back in time, taking that to 1-0. This could be a 1-0 game.
Yeah, absolutely. Infused performance here is reminding me of Reason against XL in week 2 or 3 in game 2, and they defended non-stop for about 4 minutes. And then they got that sucker punch right at the end to get a 1-0 win. Infused performance here is reminding me of that because they're defending so deep and they're taking risks. They're so low on boost, but Epsilon are just failing to find a way through. And with a minute left, Epsilon are really going to have to put on the front burners and attack them because they are running out of time.
Double whiff there coming out from both players. Data trying to keep it in the orange half, trying to go for a shot here, but that's been blocked out by Al Dente. Stanton goes for a floor pinch but does not get in. Flores gets a long clear to Radio. Flores going for a challenge, but Radio gets it above him. The being shadowed very nicely there by Flarky, making sure that if it does get past him, Flarky is there to clean up.
Infused, showing though on the other side that they have got attacking prowess of their own. Attack is indeed the best form of defense, and Danzizel puts that onto the backboard, but the only man there is Data for Epsilon. And now it's Epsilon themselves who are pinned back. As soon as they're making a clearance, an Infused man is there to follow it up. Al Dente being aggressive, stealing their side boost. And with 15 seconds left, it's Infused who are looking the more likely to score. They just have to be careful, they don't overcommit. And as I say that, Radio uses Data, to force, uses...
Don't doubt yourself, you're fine.
Uses Flores, I was wrong twice. Radio uses Flores to force an angle to get the ball into the goal, and Infused take a commanding 2-0 lead with 12 seconds left.
Right, this is now a non-comeback for Epsilon, I think. It's been so close throughout. If we've got Team Infused at 2-0 up, they're not going to come back from that, so that's fine. Infused have now drawn this game. They've got this game in their pockets.
Yep.
We're 1-0 in this series. What can both teams do to improve their standings and make it a little bit more of a more convincing lead and a bit more convincing win?
Infused defense there was so much better than in game one. They gave away so many free goals in the first game, and I think Epsilon were expecting the same to happen this game. But this time, anytime Epsilon looked within a sniff of scoring, there was one or two Infused players there in their face. Such more aggressive defending, and also mechanically better as well. They weren't making the mistakes that we saw from them in the first game, as we're about to see in these replays. Let's have a look at this. All of Infused goals they had to earn. Epsilon gave nothing away, but when the opportunity came along,
that was so close.
That could have changed the entire game had that gone in.
Tell you what, crossbars, they were pretty important in this game, I feel. We saw quite a few shots going on the crossbar and not being followed up. We saw in the first game, Dan got a shot on the crossbar, Raging then hit it into the crossbar and then got a goal from it. There was very few follow-ups. I think that did lead to the closer scoreline that we saw, and the fact it was a 2-0 game, and Epsilon didn't even get a peep of a goal.
So you want to see more of these three-man plays in the next game? From Epsilon or from Infused?
Sorry?
From Epsilon or from Infused?
I think both teams need to do it. They've just not been following up. We said that Flarky, he started shadowing Flores, and he was making sure that if the ball went past him, Flarky could pick up. But as we get into game 3, are we going to see them take on our advice, or will it be more of the same?
Data trying for a fancy ceiling hit, comes to nothing, and yeah, 10 seconds into this, and the game hasn't really settled down quite yet, but this could be danger for Epsilon. Data with very little boost, has to be careful here, but battles his way through to Infused challengers and actually gets the ball all the way to the other end. Flores backboards it. And
that's where the third man.
That's what you said, isn't it?
That's my thing. That's where the third man is so important. He can come in there and he can get the shot off, especially when there was no defence on the orange half. They'd already used up all of their defenders. They could have had a goal there, that could have set them apart. And going by how close the scorelines were, that could be the deal breaker.
It's definitely a risk, but when you think Infused have only got 1 point all season, you start to think they may be quite fragile as a team. And they're also a relatively new team, certainly in this environment. So it's a risk for Epsilon. Moving that third man up a bit more, attacking as a trio, may be a risk worth taking. But to be fair to them, it wasn't the first minute, and since then they've continued to have the better of the play. But as we say, Radio clears that away.
Data getting it clear over towards the Infused goal. Another block there by Dan Hizzle. Leaves it for Al Dente to get a big clear. Dan going for the shot. We've heard Epsilon's comms before. We can listen in now to see how Infused are doing and if they are as composed.
I'm going for this.
Let's go.
Okay, I didn't touch it. Sorry.
That's fine. Yeah.
I'm going. Floor's backflipped.
Here you go.
I'm here. Touching.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm behind.
There you go. Rotate behind you. Hang up.
I bumped him.
Nah. Coming up.
Going back. You can challenge.
Bumped him.
Nice.
Bumped out a goal.
Okay.
Oh, you got that. Nice.
Nice one. Go for us. You're alone. Careful.
Shooting.
Yeah,
You missed.
Not done.
Back post.
Bumped me. Had a goal.
I'm with you on the right. Okay.
Oh, go down.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for the call.
Right side.
That's it.
Nice. Yeah, sorry. I went for boost.
Nice. Good clear down.
50-50 God!
Oh, that was lucky. I didn't even see his touch.
1-0 to Team Infused, and we could hear them talk their way through that goal. They're defending valiantly, and when the chances are coming, when Epsilon do overcommit, when that third man attack that they've been using does fail them, Infused have got the composure to score the long-range open goal, but there's still a lot of Rocket League left to play. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left to be precise. And Radio tries to force a 50-50, but is beaten to it, and Epsilon managed to get some pressure of their own. Here comes Flarky to equalise, and it's going to be 1-1.
What a cracking pass here in from Florus. Gets it off the corner, and Flarky gets there before any Infused member can. Flicks it around for quite a nice little angle, turns his car slightly to the side, gets it in near post, 1-1. This is a bit of a closer game than the other ones.
Yeah, really good match this so far. You saw Al Dente hesitate on the line there, and that's what allowed Flarky in. His finish was so precise. And that's going to be 1-1. 1 minute and 54 seconds left, and this could be 2-1 again. Flarky, Chiefs goal scorer this game, sees this ball coming from the side. Dan Dizzle loses out to Flores, who takes that extra touch that no one from Infused was expecting. And Flarky, he knew the ball was going to come straight down from the crossbar, which was the only place he could aim it, and he made sure that his car was in the right place to force it home.
2-1 now, just shy of 2 minutes left. Flores goes for a fantastic play off the side with the double touch. Fortunately does not go in. Flarky forcing his way through with 50-50s. They have been winning out, I feel like, near enough every single 50-50 so far, but an open goal missed by Radio, goes off the post, and he cannot connect with it again.
Yeah, it was all from good work from Radio. He bullied his way through onto the goal line, but he just couldn't find that finish that he needed off the backboard. And now Infused still losing 2-1. Have got 1 minute and 20 seconds left to fix that. Dan Dizzle flicks it on for his team, but no one is there this time. Al Dente tackles Flores, wants to keep this going. Flarky's touch is going to help him do just that. But Data's there. This is an important 50-50 in the air. Where's it going to go? It's going to be onto Data's car, the roof of his car. He flicks it on, but Infused get that pressure away. And Al Dente, with some speedy defending, keeps it off.
Data there going for an air dribble onto the backboard, trying to get it in the centre for his team. Pass on to Flarky, gets saved by Al Dente, but gets 50 through, but saved by Dan Dizzle. Keeping this at 2-1 scoreline, another double commit block. Flores coming in for the shot, tries to tip it onto Flarky. Can't make it, Al Dente controls it. More 50-50s by Epsilon, just trying to throw bodies at this.
They are.
Trying to keep it in the orange half, keep up that pressure, stealing the boost. Al Dente with a fantastic clear. Flores tips it up. Thankfully, there's Flarky there to clear it off the backboard. So that's going straight down in front of the goal mouth.
Yeah, how good is that defending, Stumpy, from two Epsilon players? One to flick it onto the backboard, and the other who was already there. And that could be so important over the next 10 seconds as Infused keep piling on the pressure. Here's Al Dente, passing it to Radio. What's Radio going to do with this touch? He passed it in between Al Dente and Dan. Unfortunately, a little bit further back and a little bit further forward, he would have been fine. He just found the exact wrong place. And Epsilon are going to take a 2-1 lead.
I think they did what I wanted them to do there. They included this third man a little bit more. I don't think it led to many more opportunities necessarily, because it was just sort of fairly standard passing plays into the middle. And we saw Flarky go for a lot of the passes from Flores. It was actually 2 goals for Flarky, 2 assists for Flores. So those two, maybe they're thinking we're doing well together. Data can maybe sit back to the third man a bit more. Maybe Data's not feeling comfortable going up. He might not trust accuracy today. Flarky's finish there was so precise, like I said at the time, and there as well, on the crossbar. He knew exactly what he was doing, forcing that ball against the crossbar and sort of smushing it in the goal. And Epsilon, I've been very impressed by the way they've recovered after losing the second game, and Stumpy going in goal behind to Infused. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, they came back from that 1 goal down. They made sure that didn't bog them down into thinking, okay, right, they've got us this time. Let's wait for the other game to hurry up and get here. They thought, no, we're still in this. We can still win this, and they did. Very well done. So Stumpy, as we said at the start, both of these teams are not making it to the semi-finals. The question then becomes, why is this game important for these players? It's going to be bragging rights now, I feel. They're going to want to say, oh, okay, well, you beat me in ranked. I beat you in Gfinity. What of it? What of it, mate? As well as that, if you look at Reason
and Rix Ronde as well in particular. Reason who are now top of the leaderboard this season. They were bottom last season. And Rix Ronde put enough performances in that the team this season was built around him. And all 6 of these players should be saying, look, I'm really good at this game still. Season 3, make sure it's built around me. Make sure that I'm sat in the same seat next season and we can put on a better performance than we've done previously in Season 2.
Dente there trying to go for a backboard play off the ceiling as well. They're going to be so hard to read for a defender. If you get off the ceiling and the backboard, if you're sitting in the net, that's so hard to get to because you need to navigate round the crossbar. You can't get there before an opposing player unless you're already on the backboard.
Flores stuck in the goal, but he's got plenty of boost, so he should be absolutely fine. Data getting that center boost himself now, so we'll see how Infused are doing boost-wise. They're looking all right. The fact that Al Dente's half rotated there originally implies that they're completely fine. But Radio now patiently waits for his boost. Data used the fact that he was waiting for boost to close him down before he had a chance to really get any control of the ball. 1 minute and 20 seconds gone now, and no team really looks dominant this game so far.
It's been pretty even. We've seen a couple of chances come in from both. Like their Data trying to get a shot on. But that touch by Dan Tizzle off his own crossbar. Data going to send it for Flarky, but Flarky misses. Flores going to come in as the third man, quite far back, but he still beat any Infused player there. Flarky with a touch, ow, but no one there to receive.
What an idea from Flarky. On his opponent's backboard, he just took all the pace off that ball to drop it into his opponent's goal area. Really, really unlucky from him, but that all came from Dan Zizzle encroaching onto the front post when defending, and that meant that he had to aerial up late and could only tip the ball backwards, and that's what led to all that Epsilon pressure.
These teams are very good at counterplaying what they've seen. They'll see a defensive error come out, and they will throw people at that ball to try and get a goal.
Absolutely. Radio in the air, flicks it to Flores. Al Dente's there so quickly to charge him down, has no angle to take the shot. That's so unfortunate. He earned himself a shooting chance. The ball just didn't quite fall for him. And now Epsilon in the Infused half. Some nice passing plays. Data's been fouled by Flarky. And now as Flores goes up, who's there waiting for it? Data's there, but it's not going to drop to him because Al Dente was up so quickly, but the pressure continues from Epsilon, the ball falling onto the goal ramp, which makes it tough to read when it doesn't bounce. But eventually Team Infused gets it away. Flores picks his spot, but it's not enough power on that, and Al Dente was waiting. And now it's Infused's turn to put some pressure on. Dan Zizzle coming forward. Can't quite get what would have been an important touch to really put Epsilon under pressure.
Data there, trying to move up a little bit more, but just being thwarted by Al Dente. Dan Tizzle with a long shot, double commit, leaving an open net. And the bump by Dan Tizzle! I think he got Flores out of the way there. You see the double commit there. Flores boosts down, tries to get in position. Dan smashes him out of the goal line. Radio just needs to get it on target to put them ahead in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a really nice finish from Radio, but it all came from the double commit that you commented on, Stumpy. As soon as two players go out, even without the bump on Flores, it means that they're both wasting boost and they're both taking themselves out of position in the goal. And Infused now, who are 2 games to 1 down, have got 1 minute and 45 seconds to hold on in order to equalise and guarantee themselves their first point. And speaking of which, one thing we didn't mention, Stumpy, Epsilon, with this second game that they won, have just guaranteed themselves their first point this season, but they could not turn into 3 if they Infused and finish this, but they just can't. Great fake, but Flarky had read it. Great mind games there from Dan Zizzle, though. Great composure in his opponent's third.
Radio, nice big clear again, but just sends it straight to Data. Data goes for another touch. Just go top corner, gets saved. Hit by Dan Hizzle and then saved by Al Dente. Dan trying to send it to the other end. Flores back again. I do not want this to turn into a game of ping pong.
No, it doesn't seem to be so far. So that was a nice pass from Data. He gets it back from Flarky, and that is going to go straight into the top corner. What a play there. Data gets up. He sees Flarky hovering in the Infused half. Flarky puts it on a play. There's that Data-Flarky duo we were talking about, Stumpy, since pretty much match 1 in this season.
I'd like that it's come out in their near enough final game, their penultimate game. It's finally come out. Bit late.
Sure, but it's all about the next season. It's all about saying, you know, next season, we've got something to build upon here.
Sure.
We've got something to build upon here. We're going to do better.
I hope they do.
And well, we've seen it from Flores earlier. Flores was up so quick for a pre-jump from a Data flick We haven't seen that so far this season at all, and now at 1-1, Epsilon are starting to play like the team we expected them to be, and now they've just taken a 2-1 lead with 32 seconds left. Danzizel puts that into the corner where Florus, using his positional sense of threes, was waiting, puts it onto the backboard, and there is Data with a finish that cannot be saved.
30 seconds left. Epsilon have just put themselves ahead. Will they be able to keep this up? Al Dente trying to put on the pressure, trying to eke out another goal. Because if Epsilon win this, that is 3-1. And Infused don't even get another point. Radio with a shot on the net. Goes for them! Oh! What a read by Radio! Goes to the shot off the wall from Florus's hit. Data straight up into Radio, does not even touch the floor.
What we're seeing so far in this series is Team Epsilon and Team Infused having some fun with it for the first time. They're just trying things that they haven't been trying before. As soon as Radio went up there, he knew what he wanted to do. He wanted to knock it towards the goal, and if there was a save, to get the dump. But this is danger for Team Infused. Epsilon, there was no one there with Flarky. I think he was expecting Florus to be higher up. Florus was expecting the same thing of Data. And it just comes to nothing, so we need a careful save here. It's in Flarky's way. Danzizel has a chance. No, he just can't quite get the angle. And we will go into overtime. 2-1 to Epsilon in game so far. Infused need this goal.
Flarky putting on the pressure. Dan gets beat out. Florus keeping it up. Data beating Radio. This is the Infused game going out. Data goes for an air dribble, just out misses. Gets hit towards Flarky, sends it back in the centre with no one there.
Yeah, really, really disappointing there. He did all the hard work, but neither of his team were back. We've seen it a couple of times from Epsilon. We're having one man forward and two men back, and Infused are going to be able to capitalise on that if it stays the same. But here comes Florus, bumps it forward and picks up 2 boosts. Oh no, he didn't quite get the second one. That could have been bad for Infused, but actually as it stands, Al Dente can get a solid clearance onto the sidewall. Florus looks for Flarky, but Flarky isn't going to
ambitious. Wonderfully ambitious play there. Trying to find Flarky in the air. Data putting that in the middle. Florus just tries to win the 50-50, uses all of Danzizel's boost. Back to Data, back to Flarky. This is becoming a bit of a theme now. Nearly, did he bump Al Dente, so he was coming out on net there?
Yeah, some aggression coming from both these teams. Dan tries to pass midfield, but Data is the only man there. And then Danzizel says, I know I passed you, but that doesn't mean I want you to have the ball. Flarky has to be careful. Made sure that he still had his dodge at the end. Radio puts it across the goal, and Flarky was there. This time it's Infused term of the pressure. Dan puts it on the side. He's going to try and read this himself and hope that someone's in the middle, but Florus cuts him off at source. And Al Dente needs to be careful with all these awkward bounces on the corner. Radio calls him off it and takes it himself. Now it's Dan. Pushing it into the corner. Florus though with a solid clearance, and Epsilon are making some good clearances, but Infused having more of the pressure.
Data with the redirect, does not quite make it. Dan gets that save. Al Dente with the big clear. Demo on Dan by Florus. Flarky sends it towards Florus, but I don't think he had any boost to go along with it. But gets challenged in the air.
Dangerous.
Flarky above the crossbar, beats out Data. Florus there though, doing the third man so well.
Absolutely, yeah. As soon as the ball came out from Infused, Epsilon made sure they put the pressure back on. Flarky had to be careful from Al Dente off the sideboard, and Data has to be careful this time with a backwards touch. And now it's Radio in that corner, gets that extra touch, which makes it so much harder to defend. But Data's there, another demolition comes in, this time Radio on Flarky. This is such an aggressive game. Both of these teams are so desperate for this win, because as we said, it's worth so much more than bragging rights.
Radio pops it up for Florus. Trying to get a shot on. Saved again. This has been end-to-end shots so far. It's not been long shots. It has been so up in your face.
Yeah, proper chances from both teams. And Flarky gets the chance he needs. The Infused rotations ended. They had no goalkeeper. What's Radio doing? Did Radio go to get boost? I don't see where... Oh, he went for the ball and Flarky beat him to it. What an aerial from Flarky to win the game for Team Epsilon. 3-1, Stumpy Goblin.
They've got their first win.
Yay!
Well done. And Infused did not get another point from that.
That is a shame.
That's going to mean 3 points for Epsilon, putting them in the 7th position. And we're going to head over towards the replays and see what went right for them.
Yeah, so much passing plays for Epsilon in this third game, but it was a really good match from both teams. Dan, with that first touch over the backboard, almost led to trouble, but in the end, it was Radio who scored the first goal. but Infused weren't able to hold it, and Flarky and Data with their best passing play of this season. In the end, a really nice finish from Data as well. 32 seconds left, Stumpy. It looked like it was all over.
And then that dunk from Radio, putting it in above Flores. So, so beautiful.
In the end, it all came down to that Flarky aerial, and it was 3-2 to Epsilon on the game, and 3-1 in total. Really well played. The crowd really getting into it, absolutely loving it, and so they should, because it was such a good series. They're bottom of the table, but that was a proper series.
Livid that their team have lost. You can see them shouting, no, no, no. But yes, Epsilon have won. I'm sorry, Infused. You're at the bottom now, lads.
Yeah. That is a shame, really, isn't it? Because Infused have done so well to get their first game last season, and then they just couldn't get the 3-2. I think a 3-2 difference there would have been absolutely lovely. But to discuss it, let's go back to Tom and hear what he has to say.
Thank you very much, Cole. Thank you very much, Stumpy. A Flarky aerial makes it a fairial. I enjoy that new name. On set, Johnny Boy, how did you see that one?
100% record, still intact.
Good. I don't know where that's
season.
It's not all about you on set.
I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying that Epsilon won, so my 100% record is still intact.
He's just talking about he's got 100% record for predicting that one game correctly.
100% record.
That's really the only way it comes from.
You know, how good were Epsilon? You know, they got some great goals there when it mattered, and Infused will be hoping. I mean, the fact that they'd even got, the first time they'd got 2 games in a set, Epsilon, they excelled forward. They've lost 1-3, 1-3, 1-3, 1-3,
Yeah,
1-3.
every time.
So they get that first win, hopefully moving on to season 3 and to next week. You know, things are looking better for Epsilon.
That's big for them. I mean, they played with the same roster every time. Infused have been chopping and changing, and I think that for that reason, it's a big, big win for Epsilon because, you know, going up against the defending champions next week, Endpoint, they can really give it a good bash now. They definitely still be the underdogs, but they can go in and maybe really improve the record, maybe tie Excel, who are currently at 2 wins. So you never know. This is like bright for Epsilon. The best possible way to finish their season, perhaps.
Yeah, the funny thing for me was the fact that Epsilon finally came out on the right end of one of these close series, and
the right end of a 3-1.
Yeah, exactly. They managed to actually be consistent. At least it was 3-1, as you say, but on the right end of it for once. And we also saw so far definitely the goal of the day. That passing play between Flarky and Data was just a thing of beauty. Ball didn't touch the floor, and the volley from Data to finish it off right in that top corner. I mean, c'est magnifique.
C'est magnifique, c'est très magnifique. Listen, I mean, if you had to choose one player that really stood out for you today, I know the link-up play between Flarky and Data was there, but who stood out for you?
For me personally, Flarky, I think not just going forward, but I think he made some really important saves towards the end of that game, that final game as well, to force it into that overtime, which they managed to take. But yeah, Flarky for me, stand-up player there.
Winning goal last game as well.
Yeah.
Would you go for the same, Johnny Boy?
Yeah, I would actually. I think Flarky was just hitting the ball really cleanly today. That's a big deal, especially on a land setup. It's not where you're used to playing on. To come on and to just hit the ball cleanly, find those top corners, and find your teammates accurately. That's a really big deal. So I was impressed by Flarky today.
Beautiful. Well, listen, the winning team are right now with Ariel. How are they feeling?
This is a whole new feeling for me because I've not spoke to you guys yet because it's the first win of this season. And does it feel good?
Absolutely.
What's taking you so long?
I don't know. We're not good enough.
Aw, Flarky. No, I was just saying to you guys are often a team that people talk about. You're very strong. You're ones to be looking out for. But it's not quite happened for you in this season, has it?
No, it's been difficult to get together and work together as a team. And I think this was definitely our best, especially mentally, was a very good series for us.
Okay. Is it just a little bit too late now because you're not going to make it to the playoffs, are you?
It is late, yeah. It is very late.
But lesson learned?
Yeah.
More practice? Does it mean more practice, or is it just a case of the teams have been really strong this year, or what do you think it's been?
Teams have definitely been stronger this year, and our first 3 weeks, we basically had no practice until the 4th week, and then after that, we started practicing a lot more.
So it's all about practice.
As well. I think a lot of it's mentality as well. We were a lot more relaxed this week, which I think played a pretty big part.
So that's the key: relaxation, practice, and teams who are maybe not so good. Back to you, Tom, and well done, guys.
Thank you very much, Ariel. Too little, too late. Be relaxed in season 3 and definitely come back next week, boys, and be more relaxed. Listen, what we're going to do right now is take a short break, but when we come back, it is on. We've got Method taking on Envy.